Hey guys, thought I'd do a short little video update, kind of where I'm at on these speed riffs. We're in week 4 now, and I told you at the beginning that's going to be the trickiest part of the song Miraculum for me. Kind of the big lead part's not a big deal, and I've always been able to play pretty fast, but it's always been with hammer-on and pull-offs. I haven't really dove into that real speed picking stuff. I've just never had that much interest in it. But taking on the song, I thought, I want to challenge myself. I want to see what I can do, and it turns out it's quite the challenge. But I wanted to just, in this video, show you just a couple tips that I found, just kind of things that I found have worked for me in terms of my practice regimen. So let's take a look at that first speed riff. One is, initially the first thing I started doing was just taking it real slow, just starting working through. Just over and over and over again. Just really trying to get that so it was nice and clean. And honestly, when it first started, it was... But it's just been nice, real slow. Until I could get to a point where I started being able to speed up. I've gotten to the point where I can actually do that pretty pretty quickly and pretty cleanly. One of the big things that I've made a goal for this has been to avoid, you sometimes see guys on YouTube that are shredders. I kind of was looking around like, hey, get some tips from somebody else. And, a lot of guys, they'll sit there and they'll be like, yeah, you go nice and slow here. And then you just speed that up and then they go, but they'll only play fast with a ton of distortion on. And to me, that's like, well, I don't really know if that sounds good or not. So I'm really trying to get the technique down. So if I wanted to, I could play it on a clean guitar, on an acoustic guitar, however I wanted to go about it. So once I started getting to that where I could get the full movement, to start getting speed up, I started just taking, because these are like parallel riffs, really trying to work my way through there, just kind of taking one at a time, and then, all right, like I said, I'm not quite there yet, right? So, but each one individually. Now, a couple tips that I found have been really helpful. One is a guy named Rusty Cooley, who I have actually heard of before. He's a guitar guru, and he is very good at playing very fast. And one thing he pointed out was, he said, and this was a big thing for me, was, when I pick normally, a lot of times when I'm just playing regular, there's a little bit of variation in my thumb and my pointer finger. Like I just kind of, when I'm doing stuff, it kind of, right? So it's less of this, and it's a little bit more working there. Now that works great for the speed that I usually play. However, what Rusty said was, he said, he goes, there's guys that do all different stuff. Some guys use their elbow more, some guys use their wrist. He said, but the one thing that is very clear is that nobody ever moves their thumb and their pointer finger. So locking that in place actually really helped me to kind of start getting the motion down, because I wasn't sure the best way to go about it. And so being able to just kind of lock my fingers in place, and have it all happen in my wrist has been really helpful. And I've been able to find that as I'm taking on some other riffs in the song, kind of looking ahead, those riffs are coming a lot quicker than, this one did, because this was kind of a new thing for me. The other thing I found is, obviously economy of motion is really important when it comes to speed. The less you move, the better. So, for example, what I've been doing, what I was finding was, like, I'd have certain notes that went really cleanly. I'd have like a... right, kind of catching that one, and that one not so great. And so what I started doing is I realized, I'm probably lifting my fingers up a little too quickly, not getting into position in time. So what I started doing was, like I said, I'm cleaner at pull-offs. But what that allows me to do, if I think about it that way, it allows me to kind of like think about it a little bit differently. And I just found that was helpful. So I'm not getting that, kind of losing those notes. And then from there, it's just been, repetition. Sometimes I do it with a metronome. Sometimes I just try and really push myself. I'll start with like a... See, I was doing bad hand technique there. Try again. And I'll start trying to go a little fast, and then I'll back it back down again. But the thing that's cool is that I found that the more that I like doing things that were really difficult 2 weeks ago are no longer difficult. So if I listen to the song at full speed, I'm terrified because it is still like way faster than I'm playing. But I have to look at, okay, I've made this progress up to this point, so I'm going to continue to make progress as long as I keep practicing. But that's kind of what's been going on. That's kind of where I'm at. I just kind of wanted to share that with you so you don't think that it's like, oh, Jason's just crushing it over in the corner here. It's like, no, it's hard. This is really difficult. So you'll notice in the Miraculum lesson, I actually have been doing some simplified riffs just to kind of take the place of what's there. And then hopefully I'll be able to go through and do the whole thing at full speed. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great time with this. I hope you're finding it challenging, but not too frustrating. Sometimes I find it a little frustrating, but we're going to get there. Let's do it.